Another tunnel collapse at Lucky Friday Mine, although last night's rock burst was smaller and didn't involve any fatalities. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Gonzalez.
And I'm Nadine Woodward. Thanks for joining us tonight. 7 people were sent to the hospital after a rock burst deep inside the Lucky Friday Mine. Several of the Hecla employees had to be pulled from the rubble when part of a tunnel fell on top of them.
And tonight we have in-depth team coverage on this latest incident at Lucky Friday Mine. Anusha Roy spoke with residents in Mullen who still say the mine is a very important part of their community. But first, let's start with KXLY4's Jeff Humphrey live in the studio to show us where the rock burst happened. Jeff?
And Mike, we're kind of hoping this promotional video will give you an idea of what we're talking about. The miners had taken a hoist known as the Silver Shaft down here to the 4,900 foot level, the 5,900 foot level. You can see that hoist in blue. Then there's this horizontal tunnel that leads over to where the mining is actually occurring. It is a very important part of moving material in and out of the mine, and that's exactly where this rock burst happened on Wednesday night. When miners hop on the hoist and are lowered into the Lucky Friday, they drop more than a mile below the surface, but are still a long way from where they actually work. That's because Hecla is going after precious metals about a mile north of the Silver Shaft and travel along a drift at the 5,900 foot level to get there. It's inside this horizontal tunnel used for hauling ore that the rock burst happened.
There was a rock burst that occurred, and those individuals were injured in that rock burst.
It was the second rock burst inside the main line in less than a month, although no one was in the mine during the November 16th collapse. Workers were in the process of shoring up the drift with fencing and collars when the roof came down on them.
The work that these guys were doing was to make that area of the mine safer in case an incident of this sort might happen. And it just happened to occur when they were in the process of doing that construction.
The construction did not involve blasting and may have been triggered by seismic activity. Silver is often deposited along fault lines, and this rock burst happened where the drift crosses an area known as the 30 vein.
It's just that place in the mine. We're actually going through a vein. And where you're in that vein area, we certainly had identified that you had the potential for something to occur there.
Last night's accident is the third to shut down the mine so far this year. The Lucky Friday is growing and going deeper, and Hecla officials say they need to know why they're having so many problems.
While they're unrelated, we'll look at each one. We look at each one and we figure out what the causes are and look to improve how we operate and prevent these sorts of hazards.
Now, the Mine Safety Health Administration is also investigating this rock burst and may find that Lucky Friday managers were trying to do the right thing in the very risky business of underground mining. Reporting in Spokane, Jeff Humphrey, KXLY4.
Well, despite the series of tragic incidents at Lucky Friday Mine, many people in Mullen are standing up for the mine.
You spoke to KXLY's Anusha Roy and explained why Lucky Friday Mine is so important to their community.
We talked to a few people here in Mullen, and they're looking at the silver lining of last night's accident, thankful that the miners made it out. The people in the Silver Valley are no strangers to coping with tragic accidents.
No one was killed is a miracle, and we should all be thankful for that.
Last night's rock burst is the third incident this year to injure miners. Despite that, some people in Mullen tell KXLY they believe in the good Lucky Friday Mine brings to their community.
They're a huge community partner. They provide all kinds of assistance and employment opportunities.
275 people work at the Mullen Mine, plus 100 contractors. But more than just jobs, Mike Dotson reflects on the company's philanthropy towards things like education and community programs.
Lucky Friday's philanthropy is not just for Mullen. They also are heavily involved in Kellogg and Wallace, all through the valley.
The rock burst injured 7 miners, and as of this morning, 3 were still in the hospital. The burst was so powerful, some even felt a rumble in their homes. There's no denying mining is a risky business. Some people told us today it has risks, just like in construction, firefighting, and law enforcement.
The community revolves around the Lucky Friday Mine. It's always been a mining community, and I think it always will be.
Despite the string of tragedies, some Mullen residents remain steadfastly behind the mine, a mine they say that has an effect far beyond just Mullen.
You know, a lot of the people that work at the Lucky Friday don't live here in town, so it's not like it's just a Mullen thing. It's a Silver Valley thing.
In North Idaho, Anusha Roy, KXLY4 HD News.